Hey everyone, this is the Dr. William Clark podcast. I'm your host, Dr. William Clark. Glad to be with you back in the saddle again. And wanted to come back with another podcast. This is our time during the quarantine period to get a number of things done. And a number of you, if not all of us, are obviously working remotely. Jobs are shut down, gyms are shut down, restaurants are shut down, schools are shut down. People want to shut down everything, right? Some people want to cancel 2020 altogether, and given the year that we're having, I get why some people want to do that. But since you can't cancel 2020 and life is still happening, let's be honest for a moment, right? You who are watching this podcast, if you haven't done so already, you have a dream to launch, and you have a nonprofit to launch, you have a ministry to launch, you have something to get off the ground. And sometimes we have the excuse that we don't have the time to actually make it happen. We don't have the ability to make things happen. And lo and behold, if you just take a moment to step back and look at the scenario, we have a pandemic on our hands that has caused a lot of things to shut down. And a lot of the things that we would normally do that would get in the way of us launching things are now out of the way due to no effort of our own, but due to the fact that there's this thing going around called coronavirus. And with that being said, I think this is a huge, huge, huge opportunity for many of you who have always wished for, longed for, desired to launch your nonprofit, to launch your ministry, and to do all types of amazing things that have been on hold because of the normalcy of what we call life. And before I jump into these two things I want to talk about regarding our topic, you got to be honest, right? That we are pretty good at coming up with excuses as to why we can't do something. We're pretty good at it. We're pretty good at coming up with reasons why we can't advance our cause, why we can't do what we want to do. And a lot of times it is because we are struggling. We struggle to actually stay focused, and we struggle to actually make and create time that will allow us to do the things that we know we are supposed to be doing. With that said, I want to share two things with you on the topic of fundraising creativity during the quarantine. All right. There are two basic things I want to share with you. Number one, you have to understand and master the basics around what you're trying to do. You're trying to launch a ministry, trying to launch a nonprofit, and this is a heck of a time to do it. I mean, could the timing be any worse? I have noticed that people were planning to launch nonprofits. People were planning to launch ministries and churches, and they've acquired physical space. Some people have bought property, rebuilt property, leased property, put down money, etc. And then all of a sudden, this pandemic hits in a way that wasn't expected by the general public, and it hit after the money has been expended. That's a tough place to be in. If you haven't had the chance to go through that, thank God, right? Because the expenses associated with operating a nonprofit business or any business, a ministry, for that matter, can be daunting. And to have all that money seemingly either on hold or washed down the drain can be defeating and deflating, particularly if you worked hard. And I mean, if you worked hard to actually get this thing off the ground. So, with that being said, should that stop you from launching your nonprofit and ministry? No. There's huge opportunity here. Number one, if you're going to fundraise for your venture, you got to know the basics of your program. You got to know the basics of your goals, and you got to know the basics of your nonprofit business model. These basic things must be known. It must be mastered by you. And because there's a pandemic going on does not mean that it is an excuse for you to not know these things. As people are quarantined, they're looking for things to do virtually. In some cases, people are still trying to gather in small groups. They may be looking exactly for what you're offering. And what you're offering may be the thing that they are in need of or have been desiring to be a part of, whether from a volunteer standpoint, whether from a service standpoint, whether from a ministry standpoint, whatever the case may be. And if you don't know the basics of your stuff, your program, your goals, and your business model, how can you connect with, how can you hook a potential customer, donor, partner, etc., to be a part of what you're doing. It becomes very, very difficult to communicate that vision and that purpose that you believe you're called to fulfill if you don't know the basics of your stuff, your program, your goals, and your business model. Let me encourage you. If you're looking to launch your nonprofit, your ministry, your business, whatever the thing is that you've been waiting to do, now's the time. What are you offering? What is your program? What are the goals you're trying to achieve? What's your business model? Who are you serving? You got to know these basic things. Here's the second thing I want you to focus on when it comes to fundraising creativity during quarantine. You got to identify partners for the new normal. Now, if you thought I was going to get on here and tell you there's a creative way to sell cupcakes and do car washes and fish fries to replace what you would have done last week had the pandemic not hit the way it did, no. First of all, even if the pandemic didn't hit, I wouldn't suggest that stuff. But especially since it did hit, you got to think different. A new normal has now been ushered into our lexicon, has been ushered into our life experience, has been ushered into the way we do business, both personally and professionally. Who are the partners that you can work with and do business with in this new normal? This is now the time for all of that stuff. Okay? Who are the funders you can partner with during this new normal? Grants are still going out. If you're looking, you'll find them that they're still going out. What individuals can you work with who are looking to donate, who are looking to give, who are looking to invest? What businesses that are still open and thriving can you work with to launch your program? Let me just say this, for a moment, right? There are a number of businesses that are closing, and this pandemic is going to hit small businesses in a way that we're just going to pray for them at this point because they're going to need a whole lot of help. And there are businesses that are on the brink that could use help and partnership to get back to where they were. Number one. There are businesses that are holding on that want to get an edge that they never had. And doing business with you can make that happen. Yes, even with your nonprofit. Number two. Number three, there are businesses that are absolutely thriving because they are an online business. They don't have to worry about brick and mortar, etc. And they want to maintain their growth. They want to maintain their success. Number three, right? Businesses are a viable partner. What institutions can you work with? Your local school district, your local government, any institutional body that makes decisions with or in part for the public. They're looking for partners too. They're looking to serve. They're looking to expand opportunities. They're looking to make sure people are well and strong and solid. And so the question becomes, who can you partner with? The new normal is here, guys. The new normal that we've been talking about for years on this podcast show about changing your fundraising model, changing the way you do business, it is here. And it's your obligation. If you're looking to launch, if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to change or evolve, this is now the opportunity. We'll continue to talk about this in coming podcasts, but I wanted to whet your appetite. You got to look at fundraising creativity options during quarantine. This is the Dr. William Clark Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Have you ever wondered how large nonprofits consistently generate millions of dollars? Have you ever wondered how to write the perfect grant or how to successfully manage a grant or even how to find money beyond grants? Hi, my name is Dr. William Clark, and I'm the creator and instructor of What You Should Know Before Applying for Grants. This masterclass has over 28 modules of training, and it comes with tools, tips, and tricks on how to generate significant money for your nonprofit. Some students have been fortunate enough to build six-figure programs, and others have been fortunate enough to triple their fundraising results because of this masterclass. Whatever your fundraising goals are, this masterclass can help you achieve them. To register your seat, simply go to mysixfigurefunding.com. That's mysixfigurefunding.com, and you'll be taken immediately into our student portal where you can access all of our trainings. You can take the trainings on demand, at your own pace, and at any time. You even can interact with other students and me all online from the comfort of your home or your office. If you want to secure your seat today for this masterclass, what you should know before applying for grants, simply go to mysixfigurefunding.com. Again, that's mysixfigurefunding.com. And I'm looking forward to learning with you and growing with you as you achieve your fundraising goals for your nonprofit.